York City, founder of Geltrude and Company, Dan Geltrude. Dan, it's great to see you. So Dan, what do you make of this back and forth between Biden and the Democrats? He's not happy. He wants those numbers a lot higher. That being said, his speech about how the rich need to pay more and pay their fair share. Rich people are paying their fair share, like upper middle class people are already paying their fair share.
Well, the first thing I want to say, Stephanie, is Joe Biden is no capitalist. Him claiming that is ridiculous to start with. But as far as then him saying that the rich don't pay their fair share, we know that's true. The rich pay the majority of the income taxes that are collected in this country. This is simply a mantra. It sounds good to say these corporations, they're terrible. They're cheating us out of our money, and the rich, they're the same way. These things are not true. And let me tell you what's most interesting about all of this. Joe Biden's policies have actually helped Wall Street, not Main Street, because the only people or the only organizations that can pay the wages that are needed right now are the large corporations. Small businesses cannot pay $15, $18, $20 an hour. They just simply can't do it. So it's an interesting dynamic here because he's creating an environment that the only employers that are going to be able to exist are large corporations. And then he wants to turn around and say, but they're not paying their fair share. It's simply not true.
Yeah, well, I think what they're counting on is that people like the slogan, like tax the rich, go after the evil rich people in this country, and then everyone else will have more. But if you look in their legislation, it's not like it's going to trickle down and actually help working class people. So it's really confusing. The Democrats are really good about their messaging. They'll say something when their legislation actually means the opposite of it. And you think of Joe Biden's history. He's never really, he's never ran a business. He's been working as as in politics since before I was born. So he doesn't understand how a business works, or maybe he does and he just doesn't care. But it's really hard to watch them try to eliminate all of the Trump tax cuts. And we had talked to so many business owners and people who their lives were improved because of them. And we heard from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi at the time, who said they were crumbs. It's not crumbs. All of that money that was saved by business owners, a lot of them said that they reinvested that into their own companies, where they were able to give bigger bonuses to their employees, give pay raises, or to spend money investing in their businesses so they could continue to grow it and create jobs.
If people don't think that the Trump tax cuts worked, simply look at what the economy was doing during that period of time. Even with the pandemic, which no one could possibly have seen something like that coming, and the economy stayed strong. I mean, it wasn't great, and we're coming out of it now. But still, it really has been an incredible process for the U.S. economy, because if we had a weaker economy, everything would have completely collapsed. Now, as far as this whole taxing the rich thing, ask yourself this question. Just because Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates got richer, does that make you poorer? Of course it doesn't. Whatever the rich do isn't taking away from you. Instead, it's creating opportunities. Think about the things that these entrepreneurs have invented that have changed our lives, that have created jobs through the advancement of technology. These people literally have changed the world. So why does that make them so evil? Whether they're good people or not is not relevant. I don't know them personally. But what I do know is that the things that they've done in business have made things better for everyone across the board. Let's recognize that. And let's also say they should be rewarded for changing the world. They really should. And they do pay their fair share in many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I saw this. It was Pelosi was ripping into capitalism, saying it has not served our economy as well as it should. What planet is she living on?
Well, here's what's funny about Nancy Pelosi. Another person who has spent her entire career in public life, yet she's a multimillionaire. How do these things happen, right? So I'm not. I know that her family may have some wealth, but still, she's living the good life, and she's turning around and saying, "Well, this capitalism really isn't working." You're exactly right. What planet is she on? Are there people lined up on the Chinese border, on the Russian border, or any place else in the world trying to get into those countries because socialism and communism are better than capitalism? I don't see it, or I haven't seen the footage if it does exist. People are trying to get into this country because they are seeking out capitalism. And even if you don't think capitalism is so great, you can look at it this way. We are still the nicest house on maybe what's a lousy block, but still everybody wants in our house.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Nobody's lining up or risking their life to get into a communist or socialist country. And so, again, that says a lot about what we have going on in America and why capitalism works, because you can come from anywhere. And if you're given the chance and the freedom to build something, you can totally change your life. Well, Dan, we're going to leave it here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Of course. Coming up next, young people.